it's becoming a game changer for TCO, and not just that tech buzzword that it used to be. But for that, we heard from most of the presenters a certain number of conditions that were either explicit or implicit, which I'd like to summarize and put a bit of my spin on, if you want. The first one is the revenue increase or the TCO reduction needs to be the first mindset, not the technology. We heard that from Renault and Predict. Predictive maintenance creates value if it drives this additional revenue or this cost down. And it has to be on very concrete cost buckets, ideally OPEX or downtime or labor reduction or improvement in the end-of-life value. The second is that the failure modes are really driving everything, which is what we heard from Team A. Before the sensors, before the digital twin, before the artificial intelligence or any dashboard, it's critical to identify what are the failure modes, and they will differ in B2C for cars, in B2B for trucks or for vans, for ICE vehicles, for electric vehicles. They all have different drivers. And the understanding of these drivers, how often they occur, their financial impact is going to be critical. Luckily, the 80-20 rule always applies. A small number of failures will drive most of the cost or the revenue opportunity. So identifying that is essential. The third condition is the data quality beats the data quantity. I think we have heard that as well, indirectly, implicitly. But the idea to censor everything and build digital twins of everything doesn't work and doesn't lead you to the right benefit expected. Actually, what matters is the correct sensor type. What are we trying to measure? Pressure, temperature, vibration, acoustic, whatever it is. The proper installation location, the data frequency, the context of the data is basically getting valuable data. And it's so important that in the past, bad data has led to false alarms, to loss of trust, or non-generation of value, and therefore predictive maintenance was abandoned because of this. Point number 4 is more related to the maturity stages in predictive maintenance and has been made, I think, quite clearly from the first one, which would be just monitoring something that's abnormal, to the diagnostic, where the component is failing, to the prognostic, where the failure is happening in a certain number of weeks, so it's very well defined, to really what I think we heard we need to be after, which is the prescription maintenance, so that we can do an action on a given day during a specific occasion. And the real value in revenue generation or TCO is going to happen only in these very last stages. Number 5, and that's important, I don't think we did talk much about this, but it's the integration of predictive maintenance with the actual operations and maintenance of the vehicles. So often predictive maintenance is a bit of a silo. But the integration with the work orders, with the production planning, with the energy management is absolutely critical so that the maintenance becomes planned and aligned with operations, and only then is the value being actually created. The final point is the asset lifecycle extension. I think we heard a little bit of this, but predictive maintenance is a shift. It's a shift in thinking from I replace at fixed intervals, what I think was described as being reactive or time-based, to using safely the asset until the real end of life. And I think Renault and Predict described whether for tires or other cost centers of the vehicles, how that can be done and how important is this maximization of asset utilization, which, by the way, will optimize sustainability with the lower level of material waste, or the reduction of capex, or the optimization of inventory. At the end of the day, is very much the TCO optimization. So in conclusion, from my side, I would say that predictive maintenance is accelerating. It fails usually because it produces insight without changing the maintenance decisions and economics. It often fails because more of people and process than technology. Technology is, of course, important, but it doesn't start there. It's an enabler. And the financial benefits or the return on investment are easier to deliver in fleets with OEMs and with repair shops. So the prioritization of B2B business cases as opposed to consumer business cases, I think is pretty clear, at least at this point in time of technology and advancements.